So I don't normally have a show on Sundays because I post on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So let's get right into the news. So this week we actually have Lizzo actually being sued by her former backup dancers because of the fact that she decided to fat shame them, which does not make any sense to me because Lizzo has her own gravitational pull. So I don't really understand what she's thinking here because
Facts over tracks, this and that, spitting slow, spitting fast, I could roast, I could gas, think I'm okay at last, but I don't know if that can erase all the past.
Hi guys, welcome to the Sunday show. We can see here, Lizzo, this is an article from the Daily Wire. Lizzo actually responds to an outrageous lawsuit alleging sexual harassment and body shaming. So this is exactly what she said in her own words, and I quote, "My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned." Well, of course they've been questioned because you've been sued. So let's dig into the article over here. Pop singer and rapper Lizzo responded on Thursday to a lawsuit alleging sexual harassment and a toxic work environment, along with a slew of other allegations. 3 former backup dancers, these are the names right here, I'll put them on screen, claim Lizzo, whose real name is Melissa Velvine Jefferson, pressured them to engage with nude performers at an Amsterdam club in February. So this doesn't make a lot of sense to me here because why would you willfully full on acknowledge the fact that you're going to Amsterdam in the first place? This is a very sexual country in the very first place. Second of all, why would you go to the red light district in Amsterdam? The red light district is a specifically sexual district. Like if you had any idea about the HR violations that could arise from going to a sexual place at the very beginning, you just would not take your employees to a sexual event whatsoever. But of course, Lizzo over here is thinking that she has the whole entire world on her side because she is a whole entire world. So just because you are the gravitational pull mass or the gravitational pull equating to Mars does not mean that you have your own rules on your own planet. So this is just with me. I mean, this is just common sense over here. Don't shoot the messenger. This is just exactly what she's been doing. The suit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court takes aim at Lizzo, her production company, Big Touring Inc., and Lizzo's dance team captain, Charlene Quigley. Lizzo described the allegations as, quote, outrageous in an Instagram post. Quote, "I usually choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous to not be addressed." The 35-year-old wrote, quote, "These sensationalized stories are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional." Lizzo is also accused of body shaming a dancer for gaining weight, which runs counter to the brand the singer has cultivated, of course, because Lizzo says that body positive, oh, I'm a big woman and you need to care about me because I'm just fat, and then when you call her fat, she gets mad, which doesn't make any sense to me at all either, but that's besides the point. Returning to the article, and I'm quoting her again here, "The stunning nature of how Lizzo and her management team treated their performers seems to go against everything Lizzo stands for publicly. While privately she weight shames her dances and demonizes them in ways that are, quote, absolutely demoralizing," the plaintiff's attorney, Ron Zambrano, said in a statement. Now, we thought this was Lizzo at the beginning, but it's actually the plaintiff's attorney. He continues, quote, "I am very open with my sexuality and expressing myself." Okay, Lizzo. This is Lizzo now. It keeps going back and forth, so I'm not sure who's talking. This is Lizzo here. Quote, "I am very open with my sexuality and expressing myself, but I cannot accept or allow these people to that openly make me out to be something that I'm not." Lizzo reacted on Instagram, quote, "There is nothing I take more seriously than the respect we deserve as women in the world. I know that it feels like to be body shamed on a daily basis and would absolutely never criticize or terminate an employee because of their weight, of course, because it would be hypocritical of you and it would be putting yourself into a situation that you really don't want to face." Yeah, I mean, of course. Quote, the last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointed, she added. My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. My character has been criticized. Aww. As noted by the Daily Wire's Lizzo's former creative director Quinn Whitney Wilson and dancer Courtney Hollandquist expressed support for their backup dancers suing the pop star. Quote, I'm not part of the lawsuit, but this was very much my experience in my time there. Hollandquist wrote, quote, I very much applaud the dancers' courage to bring this to light. Quote, I haven't been part of the world for around 3 years for a reason, Wilson wrote. Quote, I very much applaud the dancers' courage to bring this to light, and I grieve parts of my own experience. I appreciate space to understand my feelings. Ketty, and this is what she said online here. So I don't know what's actually going on. So this is all allegedly. And that's why I'm saying I am quoting the backup dancers here, because I'm not going to be sued for defamation if this comes out that it's not true. And it would be highly hypocritical of Lizzo to actually do this. That's why I'm kind of questioning it from the very beginning. But at the same exact time, you never know what Lizzo is like behind the scenes. She could be just a demon in disguise, but you just never know. That's exactly what it comes down to at this time of age, because anybody can be anything, because all we know is who she actually portrays herself as online. Now, moving on to the next article, we actually have a Daily Wire article. We have Turley raises questions about case against Trump. Jack Smith would need to bulldoze First Amendment to convict. So attorney and law professor Jonathan Turley raised serious legal questions about special counsel Jack Smith's path to convicting former President Donald Trump. In an op-ed published on Saturday by The Hill, Turley warned that the latest indictment of Trump relating to the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot threatens the First Amendment by giving the government an unprecedented power to criminalize false statements. Trump was indicted earlier this week on 4 charges, including conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding, obstruction of an official proceeding, and conspiracy against rights. He pleaded not guilty to all charges. Of course he would. Why would he say that he's guilty? Quote, Trump was not charged with conspiracy to incite violence or insurrection, Turley wrote. Rather, he was charged because he, quote, spread lies that there had been an outcome determinative fraud in the election and that he had, quote, actually won. In order to secure convictions for this, special counsel Jack Smith would need to bulldoze through not just the First Amendment, but also existing case law, holding that even false statements are protected, of course. So let's just say that I say on this podcast that this guy is green. Obviously, that's not true. But then somebody sues me and says the same exact thing that they're trying to get Trump on. It's my First Amendment right to make false statements. So I can openly say something that I know to be false, but that's not against any other law because I'm protected by the First Amendment. I can lie. This is exactly what he did during the election. He lied about the election being rigged. And he lied about the election being stolen. Yes, we can say that it is rigged in the approach that the mainstream media actually covered evidence that went against Joe Biden, and they lied to the public, in which they do every single day anyway. So what's the difference in this case? That's a whole different story. But he knew, or he didn't know, whatever, that the election was as secure as it is every single year. I mean, every single year we have a lot of things going on in the election. The media likes to push their narrative every single year, so we can have their political bias in their reporting of the news, but also at the same exact time, we cannot say that it was stolen because it wasn't stolen. It was rigged in the approach that the media lied to the public. So we can say that. But Trump went out and said that, listen, it was stolen from me. It was stolen, the election, guys. But he said this in 2016 too. So I don't understand where people are being surprised about this. Like, we already knew that he was going to say this because in 2016, he said the election is rigged, folks. And he said this. So why are we acting surprised now when he says it again in 2020? Or we're acting surprised 3 years ago when he said it in 2020? I wasn't surprised. And actually, I was believing some of the stuff that he was saying at the time in 2020. That's why when I came on my show, because I did have this show in 2020, in 2021, I I guess, because January made the new year. When he was saying this stuff in January and February, I was following exactly what he said, and I was seeing everybody get banned, which made me believe him even more. But actually, looking at the evidence now, we can see in all of the facts that they got thrown out of the Supreme Court, we can see that, yes, it wasn't stolen, but it was rigged in the approach that the media likes to hide information that goes against their political, besties, like Joe Biden, the big guy. Now, with that being said, we're going to just move on to the media's takes.
No, I'm not a writer.
Okay.
So moving on to the article, we actually have a CNN article. We have notable legal clouds that continue to hang over Donald Trump in 2023. Now, all of these cases are just stupid. Okay, I can go back and two things can be true at the same exact time. Yes, Trump can and would have or could have broken the law. Okay, could have broken the law. But at the same exact time, we can say that, yes, he could have broken the law. But also at the same exact time, we can say that it is a political target to target your political rival in the election. Your rival that is leading the polls in the Republican side, the opposite side. And that is a political threat to Joe Biden. So the DOJ is politicizing this event to target their political rival because the DOJ is managed by the Democratic Party right now. Merrick Garland is a Democrat, and you can see full through and through, he's a Democrat, okay? We can see that he is a political asset to the Democratic Party. So of course he would want to attack Trump, and this is exactly the cases that they have in front of us. Jean Carroll, which that case in 2014 or 2015 for hush money, that was an unkind political an unkind political donation from Donald Trump. That's exactly what happened there. Police officers, that has nothing to do with anybody. Peter Strzok, which doesn't mean anything at all because he's politicized that through and through. That's from the DOJ. Also, the DOJ is attacking him. We can see that it's politicized, like I just said. Manhattan DA actually ran on indicting Trump. So that is a political move. The DOJ investigation. So now we have 3 different investigations from the DOJ, but CNN likes to bring this up as if they're different charges. Mar-a-Lago investigation, which is based on I wouldn't say absolutely nothing. I would say that it was based on him just being neglectful of the law. I mean, he was saying, listen, look at this document here. This is classified. I could have declassified this, but I didn't. He's just being stupid, okay? This is what I think. But also at the same exact time, two things can be true at the same exact time. Yes, we can say that he was being neglectful of the laws at play, but at the same exact time, we can see the fact that Hillary Clinton was not indicted when she wiped her servers clean and bleach bit them. And then when she was asked, what happened to these documents? Did you wipe your servers? She's asked, with a cloth? No, we're not talking about with a cloth. We're talking about wiping them clean so there's no more documents on there. Hillary Clinton, you got our military officials killed. But of course, they're not going to prosecute Hillary Clinton because she's on their side. Now, we can have the Fulton County DA, which is a political move again, and we have the New York State AJ, which is another political indictment. So we at least 86% of these cases are politically motivated. There's like one case on here, maybe 2 cases at absolute most. I would say that it was just one. That Mar-a-Lago investigation is going to be the trickiest for Trump to get himself out of. But of course, this picture is going to give more information than this whole entire article. So we're going to skip over this article entirely. Moving on to the next article, we actually have an MSNBC article. We have the Lizzo indictment allegations, the answer's lawsuit. Okay, so this is from MSNBC. This is the headline. So this is MSNBC's take. We saw the right take. This is the Daily Wire's take on this matter. Now we can see the wrong take, the MSNBC take on this matter. Allegations that Lizzo harassed and fat shamed dancers have fans like me reeling. Oh, my Lizzo. Oh, this is written by Evia Dion, an MSNBC columnist. So let's see. 3 of Lizzo's former dancers filed suit against her production company, and her dance captain on Tuesday in a 37-page complaint that challenges the singer's public image as a beacon of confidence, self-respect, and goodness toward all. These three people accuse the defendants of creating a hostile work environment and lodged nine allegations that range from sexual harassment and fat shaming to verbal abuse. These allegations would be jarring no matter who was named as a defendant, but if true, they're especially disappointing when one considers that Lizzo has crafted a superstar brand around the notion that embracing self-love and the antidote to an outright or unrelating opposition. The lawsuit filed in Los Angeles Superior Court names Lizzo, whose legal name is Melissa Valnine Jefferson, her production company Big Girl. Okay, this is just stupid. We already know this. And denying the allegations entirely, Lizzo wrote, we already went over this. When does her opinion come in? Not all nine allegations. Okay, yeah. Lizzo, of course, has built an over. Okay, so are they going to get to their opinion on the matter? I am very open with my... Okay, we already read that. The plaintiffs are seeking unspecified damages against the three defendants after Lizzo's former dancers filed suit. Filmmaker Sophia Nalia Allison, who says she worked for a short time with Lizzo on a documentary, shared on social media that she walked away from the directing gig after 2 weeks because she, quote, witnessed how arrogant, self-centered, and unkind Lizzo was. Wow, welcome to Lizzo. How do you not know that Lizzo is like that? She's like that online. Oh, this is just stupid here. Perhaps more significantly, according to People magazine, at her Tuesday night concert outside Boston, Beyonce, one of Lizzo's idols, excluded the singer's name from the Break My Soul, the Queen's remix, for when she performed at each stop of her Renaissance world tour. Many of Lizzo's lyrics have become catchphrases. There's I just took a day and night test, turns out I'm 100% that B, or the inescapable I feel good as hell, that at times seems to have been cropped up on every commercial and movie trailer over the last 2 years. She won the Grammys in 2022. Okay, so when does it get into your opinion? We've watched Lizzo build her empire, which began in music, but now spans brand deals and even clothing line. But her former dancer's lawsuit alleges that in expanding her brand, she's bullied those with less power than she has. That's a tough pill to swallow. The specific people that she's accused of mistreating also matter. They are plus size dancers. They have an industry that typically rewards thinness above anything else. That would make them even more vulnerable to being exploited because, as talented as they are, what other big name celebrity is likely to put them on stage? What if her alleged mistreatment pushes these plus size dancers out of the industry altogether? What if she shattered their confidence? Lizzo's gonna I can't even put my words together because this is just so stupid to me. Lizzo is gonna ruin your self-confidence. Moment of silence for these dancers. Moving on to the next article. This is just no response is necessary. I plead the fifth. Moving on to the next article, we have a Daily Wire article. We have complaint against Nashville official over vote on trans surgeries is, quote, blatant attack on First Amendment, conservative group says. Of course it is. An ethics complaint targeting a Nashville official over her vote against adding transgender procedures to city health insurance coverage is a blatant attack on the First Amendment, according to several faith-based Tennessee policy organizations. Nashville's electric vehicle coordinator and Metro Benefits Board member Edna Jones is facing an ethics complaint over her vote against expanding the city's healthcare coverage. The complaint was filed by activist Miriam Upliftly of Lizzie, butchering the name, sorry about that, who is chair of city's Human Relations Commission. Quote, my God does not make mistakes, Jones reportedly said during a debate on the issue in June. He creates each of us as he chooses. I vote no, thank you. Quote, Miss Jones' comment clearly discloses that influenced her vote. Her religious faith is in what she named as my God, the complaint says, citing one religious faith as determining factor on the board's members' vote shows improper influence on the performance of Miss Jones' official duties. What? This is stupid to me. So you mentioned God, and now you can't vote? Is that what they're saying here? The complaint has also criticized the policy and advocacy groups who say that sanctioning Jones over her vote after referencing her religious faith would have religious liberty and free speech ramifications. Of course, that's what I'm saying. This is stupid. So if you say God, you can't vote now? Is that what they really want to... The First Amendment literally says the freedom to have your own... Oh, no, I'm paraphrasing here. The freedom of speech and religion. That's our First Amendment. I don't remember exactly word for word what the First Amendment says, but we have our First Amendment right to protect us from our religion and our free speech against the government. What are you talking about here? And I quote, firstly, the Nashville Metro Benefits Board to not give insurance coverage for transgender mutilation surgeries on city workers is one of the few things that Metro Nashville government has done recently that we agree with. Taxpayer funds have no business being used to cover transgender mutilation surgeries. Aaron Gulberson, the executive director of the Tennessee Faith and Freedom Coalition, said in a statement given to the Daily Wire, I completely agree with that. Quote, secondly, with regards to a sour grapes complaint, it is extremely disgusting to attack a board member's vote on a basis of her faith. Furthermore, it's a blatant attack on board members' First Amendment, free speech, and freedom of religion rights. We hope that ethics board, considering the complaint, understands that respects with those two facts and reacts accordingly. If they don't, this would be trampling on the Constitution, he added. When asked by the Daily Wire if Jones should be allowed to say what she did under the First Amendment, Albenfrisky, I'm going to butcher that again, sorry about that, said that she didn't know. But that would be a valid question. She said that determination would be made by the ethics board and not her. Okay, so yeah, that would be the ethics board. We need to look at the ethics board, and they better come to the right conclusion, because of the fact that this is just stupid already. If you mention God, you can't vote now. What? That's just stupid to me. Moving into the next article, we actually have a Federalist article. We have Trump pleads guilty in latest witch hunt charges over January 6th. Former President Donald Trump pleaded not guilty on Thursday to the latest round of federal charges against him from the Department of Justice. The former president was arraigned in a Washington, D.C. federal courtroom over a 4-count indictment. Special counsel Jack Smith handed down on Tuesday. Trump appeared in court Thursday while President Joe Biden remains in a Delaware vacation amid growing scandals surrounding the Biden family business ventures. Quote, Biden and his family steal millions and millions of dollars, including bribes from foreign countries, and I'm headed to D.C. to be arrested for protesting a crooked election, unfair judge. Trump wrote on Truth Social ahead of proceedings, quote, we are a nation in decline, MAGA. Smith charged Trump with a series of crimes relating to the January 6th Capitol riot, including conspiracy to defraud the United States, conspiracy against rights, obstruction of the official proceeding, and conspiracy to obstruct a proceeding. Ultimately, the charges are an attack on political speech. I completely agree. The timeline of this week's indictment follows a steady routine of Trump's charges being unveiled just after new revelations drop about Biden family's business schemes. So, we have June 7th. This is the complete timeline here. June 7th, we actually have the FBI releasing documents of Congress alleging the Bidens took a $10 million bribe from Burisma. June 8th, Jack Smith indicts Trump on a Mar-a-Lago documents case. July 26. Hunter Biden goes to court to reject sweetheart plea deal after it was revealed to the DOJ to try to give him a blanket of immunity from future prosecutions. July 27. Jack Smith adds more charges in the Trump Mar-a-Lago case. July 31st, the last day of July. Hunter Biden's former business partner testifies in Congress that Joe Biden was over 20 calls in with his son's business partners and that Burisma execs pressured them to fire the prosecutor. On August 1st, Jack Smith indicts Trump again for January 6th. So, of course, like I said, the DOJ is politically motivated by the Democrats to completely just erase all of the laws and protocols that they're supposed to follow, Merrick Garland is supposed to follow, in pursuit of covering up Joe Biden's rear end. Not just Joe Biden, but the whole entire Joe Biden crime family. Trump is now facing 78 charges across 3 investigations while he maintains a comfortable lead in the Republican presidential primary. Quote, I need one more indictment to ensure my election, Trump joked on social media Thursday morning. The former president might just get it. Prosecutors in Georgia are wrapping up their own investigation into the alleged misconduct relating to the 2020 election. President Biden, meanwhile, is confronted with escalating calls for impeachment as new evidence surfaces about Biden family business deals that could implicate the domestic incumbent in a criminal bribery scheme. On Monday, former Biden family business partner Devon Archer offered new details about the president's influence peddling schemes, which featured phone calls Hunter Biden facilitated with his associates. While Joe Biden served as vice president, his son was on the board of Ukrainian energy company Burisma. ranking in executive compensation despite no prior experience in the industry. At the time, then Vice President Biden was at the Obama administration's point man on Ukraine. Archer told the House lawmakers Burisma hired Hunter Biden to build a brand of influence and to intimidate the firm's opponents. In 2018, Joe Biden bragged about his pressure campaign on the Ukrainian government to fire the nation's top prosecutor who was investigating the firm. Archer also testified that Hunter Biden often put the vice president in touch with his corporate colleagues at least 20 times. The testimony contradicts repeated denials of Biden involvement from 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. This is this year, folks. This is this year. So we have the Biden family going against what they have been saying even this year. That shows you that they don't care about lying to the public and to our faces. With that being said, we're going to end off the Sunday special here. If you did like this episode, please like and subscribe below because I do post new episodes of the show usually on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But if I do not have a full show on Friday, I will upload a new episode on Sunday, which is today. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.